This is the truth about presentations that no one talk about. 75% of presentations is only about how you make the audience feel. If you ask me why, simple. It's because unless you take notes or you are already an expert in this field, it is practically impossible to capture all of the content of a presentation. It's all, it is also impossible to make them have your full attention throughout the whole presentations. And then if you ask me, so what do they remember you of? They remember you of the feeling that you make them feel. Hence why it is not about perfection. It is about how you make them feel. So this is how you make people feel a certain way about your presentations. As an overthinker, this is the best way that I found. The first step is you have to find your style. You have to first think about what do I want them to see me as after my presentation. You want to think about the impressions they have of you after your presentation. And the next thing is to think about the structure of a presentation. In most cases, presentation is divided into three parts. It's the intro, content, and the closing. So no one talk about this as much as how much it should be mentioned, which is intro and closing is actually more important than the content. You might be thinking that I'm talking some bullshit, but trust me. The reason why is because the intro and the closing is the moment where you have most of the audience attention. And that is when you can make them feel a certain way. And from that they will remember you a certain way. That's why put more efforts into the intro and the closing. How? There's numerous way. But my personal favorite is to start with a story, because that sets you off as a not only a storyteller but also a leader. Because most leader are the ones that talk. And if you start off with a story, you are in a way putting yourself as a leader. You dare to start a story. You dare to speak about yourself. And it is these little tiny details that make your presentation stand out. And us overthinkers, we are really good at that. We are really good at thinking about the details of something. That's why we need to use it as our power, as our strong points. Aside from story, you can also start off in a more funny way. Get back to the first point. Depends on how you want to deliver yourself. And one thing that no one really talk about, which is my second favorite too, is to set an energy, set a level of energy of your presentation. Do you want to be calm? Do you want to be confident? Do you want to be remembered as someone who is funny? You have to find that yourself. And after that, after the intro, is the closing. This is basically the polar opposite of the intro. So if let's say you start off with a story, you can end with a conclusion of the story, or the second half, or the ending of the story. Or you can even end off with a quotes from like famous people, or your personal conclusion, and all of this stuff. It's the intro and closing that people pay most attention to. So just ace that first. That's the first step that you have to do. And then overthinkers, we most of the time are overachievers too. So this is when you can think about the details of the content, and you have to reward the listeners. Like what I mentioned just now, no one actually pay attention fully to your presentation. So you have to find details, and you have to throw in some things that you want them to remember, and yeah, stimulate them. Let them get reward from your for paying attention to your presentation. And don't shy away from doing weird stuff, or like amplifying your personality. Why? It's because at the end of the day, people want to listen to you. And if they don't give a fuck. Just assume that people want to listen to you. Because good teachers, good leaders are people who are confident, are people who dare to take space, are people who dare to do something despite of judgment or despite of people's opinion about them. It's because they know that they are the shit. You have to come off with that energy, and at that point, you are standing out like crazy. And one final thing that I like to pay attention, it is because when I make presentation, I prefer to be the witty and the funny and embrace the imperfection. That's why I like to make jokes. I put in some funny jokes in the middle of the presentation. Obviously, intro and closing is the priorities. But after that, yeah, the intro, the content, I throw in some jokes. And even if I fail a little bit, you have to remember that at the end of the day, fun is more important than content. If you were to ask me, is it more important to memorize the script and to deliver 100% of the content, but zero fun, or 50% fun, but you mess up a little bit? I would say 50% fun. You know why? Because that's the beauty of it. This is the beauty of making a fun presentation. It's because people actually learn more from that too, in comparison than your boring memorized script type of presentation. So that's pretty much it from this video. I want to I want you to learn about the beauty of imperfections. It's okay to fail. It's okay to mess up a little bit. Obviously, don't think. Obviously, don't be dumb and just prioritize fun and zero content. Actually, prepare for it too. That's how, obviously this is the obvious stuff. To make a good presentation, prepare for it too. Don't just fucking make some fun shit and talk bullshit, because that doesn't work. But yeah, don't overthink so much about being perfect. Don't overthink about the need to be perfect, because that's just giving you unnecessary pressure. And no one is perfect. You can prepare 100 times, and yes, you can deliver it. Obviously, you to a certain degree, there will be it will be closer to being perfect. But still, at the end of the day, something might be wrong with what you say too. So yeah, prioritize fun over perfection. If you want to learn more about how to do good presentations as overthinker, I have understand the whole method on how to get results like this. If you want to check out my program, you can check below. You can press the link below and we can get connected, and I can teach you everything and every single knowledge that I know about presentation. That's it from this video. Peace.